Hey everybody! How are you doing today? I hope you're keeping well. Welcome back to the new challenges. Yesterday, things got a little heavy. So, today, I can only assume they're going to get heavier, because we are on the home stretch right now. We are approaching Chapter 8, Winner Stays On. Brace yourselves, I think this one's going to be a doozy. Here we go. Ooh. Ominous atmospheric droning. Oh god. This is not about winning and losing. Maybe it never really was. This is about deciding who you are and what you believe in. It's about making a stand. I don't know if it's possible to win. We fought hard to reach the end of this road, but the final result is going to be tainted. Odds are we won't be granted the title of champion even if we do somehow win. But I don't care anymore. We will stand resolute against the ones who want me to fade away. Valkyrie, and my own self-loathing. Because even if I can't win, I will not lose. So we're starting strong. It is the distant future year 20XDX, and we're apparently all that stands against the dark future of esports corruption. It's not exactly what I was aiming to accomplish when I started on this path, but you play the game in front of you, not the game you wanted to play. Valkyrie's forcing her Iris to cheat at FOD2, so she can rise all the way to the top. What's more, she's proven ready and willing to hurt anyone who stands against her. Naturally, I've chosen to stand against this. Not a smart move for my continued well-being, but if I care one whit about fair play or human decency, there's no other option. But naturally, we can't just call hacks on her. Nobody would believe us. We need evidence, and we need to sway the Pro Tour's organisers to hear that evidence. Not a task that the new challengers can accomplish alone. We're going to need a leverage. But before I can arrange any sort of leverage, it seems I've got one last task on my list to take care of. Temptation. Here I am, in the belly of the beast, the penthouse lair of Team Play to Win. Woof. Word of the day, ostentatious. At the top of a skyscraper, as if attempting to rival Mount Olympus, P2W work and play and work, all under the command of one Victoria Proud. Valkyrie. Coach, manager, owner, cheat, swindler. Arguably also an attempted murderer.
And of course, our players have private rooms. I know most of your team are playing bunkmates to save money, but here we respect your privacy. And the view's terrific from up here, of course. There's also a hot tub on the deck when you want to relax after a hard day of training. We've got all the energy drinks you could want in our 7 different fridges.
I nod along, only half paying attention to her sales pitch. Valkyrie arranged this meeting with me, and while I have my guesses as to why, she's happier to give me the tour first. None of it sways me, but I pretend to care as she lifts off the many perks of being part of P2W. Flexing her power and wealth before we get down to business.
And of course, we're well stocked with products provided by all our sponsors, so we're never lacking for gear or snacks. I sense you're not amused by our humble abode. You want to get on with business, yes? Okay. Tour over. Let's talk.
She pauses, letting the whole aura of the place sink and entice me, before speaking.
I invited you here today for one simple reason.
You're gonna push me over the balcony, aren't you?
I want to recruit you.
What?
I know. We've been at each other's throats since the start of this. We're destined to face each other in the finals, so you're thinking, why would Val extend the olive branch?
Point of order, you've only been at my throat since the start of this. I was willing to, like, you know, play this off as friendly rivalry up until you tried to have me killed.
I'll tell you. The fact of the matter is that you're going to lose the championship. Remember, I told you we'd beat you at Pengy Paradise, and I wasn't lying. This is no different. You can't win this one.
This can't just be overconfidence. She's gonna cheat. This time we're ready. We're gonna set the trap and bait her into it. When she cheats, we'll be ready. But why offer to hire me for her team if she knows she can stop us so easily? May as well just ask. I don't get it. Why? Are you hoping I'll back out of the tournament?
No, Play to Win needs to defeat your team in a fully sanctioned and official match. Until now, we've only beaten your team in unofficial show matches, and I want it on record. And once the dust settles from this, once your team is shown to be nothing but a squad of laundromat casuals...
A squad of laundromat casuals who qualified for the Pro Tour and only lost to the absolute pinnacle of the league, I should point out.
There's no reason you can't switch sides and join the real champions. See that ambition of yours through to the end. I'm sure you care about your friends, and that's noble. But you also know they aren't winners. Not like you. Pushing them to become a professional team was a mistake. It's time to realize that, and realize the only path to your glory lies with me. My vision? After you lose the finals, your team disbands and you join me. Everybody wins. Sound good to you?
Uh-huh. Yeah, no. I'm wondering where Hunter is in all this. I'm worried about Hunter. I don't know where they're at in this nonsense. You keep bragging about your hot tubs and your pool table and your arcade game, but honestly, I see unused toys. Look at the dust on those joysticks. You'll work your team to the bone, pushing them hard for the glory of the championship, for your glory, and I'm done being a part of that sort of thing. I've come to understand something, Valkyrie. A win isn't worth it if you destroy yourself getting across the finish line. So you can take your generous offer and stick it straight up your... How assiduous. I see we can't come to terms. It's a pity, but I did my best. You can go now. This meeting is over. Obligingly, I turn to leave. But there's one more thing I could do. It's risky, it's possibly a terrible idea, honestly, but maybe it's the right thing to do. Ooh, do we want to... accuse? No, she can't know that we know, because she might change her tactics. If we want her to fall for the trap, she mustn't know that we are setting one. I can't offer her a chance to end her wicked ways. She's already done too much harm to let her skate on this. And if I made the attempt and she refused to do the right thing, it may tip our hand about the trap that awaits her. Until we meet again, Miss Proud. The course was locked in long ago. Now the only opportunity she gets is an opportunity to expose her own crimes. Provided we can set the trap properly without destroying ourselves in the process. One trap thoroughly baited. Except for one teensy-weensy problem. We don't actually have a trap yet, just a pile of bait, waiting for a proper trap to be built around it. Pyrite, you are super not great at metaphors. Hey, at least he's consistently bad at them. There's something to be said for consistently. Thank you, I try. However, I have a fine array of steel-jawed traps available for the choosing. That's why I've gathered the team together today. I want us to select the means by which we shall enact justice upon Valkyrie.
A bit concerning, that?
Indeed, we must be thoughtful in matters of justice. In dealing with Coda, we were a bit thoughtless. We can do better. We need to make sure Valkyrie's crimes are exposed, but also do it in a way that's fair and efficient. Okay, so some of my proposals may not meet those standards, but hear me out. I want to lay everything on the table before we decide. I think we have 4 options here. I'm confident in my ability to make all 4 work, so it's just a question of which one we want to run with. First candidate on offer is probably the most obvious one. Punchy78, lead reporter for Fight Shack. He keeps giving our team news coverage on Fight Shack, so maybe he'd be willing to help in exchange for an exclusive interview or something. Punchy's been following our rival with Team Play to Win closely and keeping the public informed, so involving him is a natural next step. It's simple enough. We tell Punchy78 everything we know about Valkyrie's crimes, offering juicy details for his website, get everything out there for the public to see. And in return, he uses his connections to get us before the Pro Tour organisers, so we convince them to run Grace's anti-cheat detection software. We catch Valkyrie in the trap, expose her cheating, and Fight Shack's right there to get the word out far and wide.
I see your point.
I've worked with Fight Shack in the past. Punchy would be more than happy to help us out. He's a great guy.
I anticipate failure.
Except he's also given Valkyrie just as much glowing praise. Her comeback story wouldn't have been possible without Fight Shack.
Bad idea.
Used to do freelance copy editing for websites before we turned pro. Trust me when I say the press can and will spin anything for more ad revenue and more clicks. And even if Punchy's totally in our corner, Valkyrie is adept at manipulating public image. She could easily slip out from under this. Okay, well we have another option. If what we want is justice, there's a direct and simple appeal we can make. We call the cops on her, they sort this mess out. On the night of the Coda incident, I spoke with an officer in charge of cybercrime, fraud, harassment, things like that. Detective Jiwoo Cho. The cops are supposed to be the ones you call at times like this, and this is Domino's aunt. We can have some confidence we'll see justice done.
Sure thing.
Trust me, Aunt is on the level. She's one of the only people in my family who gives a single solitary fuck about me. Jiwoo will make this work.
No f***ing way.
The cops? Seriously? No friggin' way. We don't need pigs in on this. Sorry, Dom, but auntie or no auntie, bacon always smells like bacon.
No thanks.
Zap's right. This would result in a much larger scale public scandal, putting us and the scene in a bad light. Okay, so yeah, calling the cops is the hammer option. Okay, so there's another option, although it's even riskier, I'll warn. I know this one's going to sound ridiculous, but you know me. You know I wouldn't lie to you about something this important. Back at Max, I was contacted by a mysterious woman in black for some unknown branch of the federal government. Ah, Valkyrie has access to an iris. For reasons a bit too weird to get into, involving my brain nearly getting scrubbed by a haunted arcade game... What? Bear with me. This agent said if I had any information about someone abusing the technology behind Iris, I should call her. We know Valkyrie is manipulating her Iris into dominating the scene, cheating at contests and harassing her enemies into the grave. Abusing the tech is this woman is trying to control. This is risky, possibly the same one who shut down the Iris project, because of its strange origins. But she is a strong contender for making this whole situation go away.
Impressive.
Okay. So we send her to the same gulag that Deco is no doubt rotting in. Something keenly appealing about Valkyrie vanishing into some CIA prison. Assuming this supposed mystery woman is CIA, or NSA, or FBI, or whatever. Could be VSS, but like I said, our field ops don't really dress like that. Trust you when you say you aren't making up this weirdness, and I'm in favour of a measured but risky play. I say why not? Why not? Because that's the woman who nearly murdered Iris. Parrot is right. She was involved in the shutdown. Now we want her to handle someone abusing an Iris? We can't risk it. She's the one who demanded Iris be killed. She's the one I've been scared of. The reason I haven't been involved in Iris's life. But this is a two birds, one stone situation. I've thought this through. In return for offering up a criminal abusing Iris's technology, we can negotiate a peace treaty, get her off Iris's back. This could be good for both the new challengers and the Iris Collective. A long shot. An extreme long shot. I have my doubts about this, and I believe you know why. I can do it. You turn me loose and you'll see what I can do. We play our cards right, we can secure justice for Valkyrie and justice for Iris. And that brings me to the final option, which might be the most extreme of the bunch. We have an in with the team that's running the Iris Collective, a gang of justice-minded hackers. Alright. This is going to mean outing Loxley to the group, but maybe it's time. If we're going to have our best chance at righting these wrongs, it has to be done. This isn't the time for Cloak and Dagger. It's high time we put all our cards on the table, Loxley. Do you agree? Huh? I see. So be it. For the glory of the new challengers and for justice itself. I'm involved with a group called the Ghost Monsters. They are, indeed, the anonymous hacker group behind the Iris Collective. Oh boy, she didn't know. My true purpose here was to watch over Grace, to ensure that she remains safe and free from involvement in our crimes. The Iris has tasked us with this out of love for their creator.
I offer my sincere apologies.
I'm sorry, Grace. I'm sorry, everyone. My original reason for coming to Good Clean Fun was a subterfuge. Huh? What? What? That explains a few things, notably why you're so keen on spending time with Grace. Huh. I wasn't expecting to get involved with an international Cloak and Dagger affair, and yet here we are. Oh boy. On the contrary, I believe it to be real with all my heart. I hold fast to those I care for, and I consider you all my cherished friends. But the honest truth of it is that my original purpose was dishonourable. If you wish me to depart this team, I will understand. Oh! She did know! What? I knew all along you were working with Iris. I am very smart, you know, that's true.
That's wonderful.
Oh, okay, this is getting rapidly out of hand. But I also know you did it out of love. Love for Iris. And so, I didn't say anything. That kept us all safe, and I didn't want you to feel like you'd failed in your mission. I apologize. I've failed in more ways than I can count. There's nothing to apologize for. You were in a difficult position, and I can forgive any supposed transgression. I'd hope the new challengers can too, right?
Okay, sure. Why not?
I'm generally in favour of sneaky bastards fighting for the side of good, and it's not like we aren't already knee-deep in weirdness, so hey, damage done, move on. Can't say I'm thrilled, but it's Grace's call. As the person most affected, I trust her judgment. You should too.
Wait. What?
I am 15 different flavours of confusion right now. Bottom line it for me, please. Are we going to jail? We should be in the clear, Zap. Even if one of our team is a cybercriminal with pirated software, we're hardly accomplices. But let's put that aside and focus on the original point. Loxley's allies, the ones running the Iris Collective, could help us? How? Right. Let me continue. With Loxley's help, we reach out to them and ask the Ghost Monsters to dig up solid evidence on Valkyrie's crimes, then leak it all to the internet. They can likely also help us get the anti-cheat software installed so we can detect Valkyrie's crimes live and direct. Honestly, this is the most powerful option we have on the table. It sinks us deeper and deeper into wild conspiracy, but it's a strong win. The court of public opinion will take over after all the dirt comes out. We walk free with all the plausible deniability Rhapsody mentioned. Okay, this is too much. Can we dial it back from the Hollywood thriller levels and just focus on getting Valkyrie slam-dunked in public? Yeah, even if this would be a near instant win for us, we'd be better off not digging ourselves any deeper than we need to. So, those are the options we've got. We ask Punchy78 for help, working within esports to let Valkyrie be tried by the media. She may weasel out of it somehow, but it's clean and ethical. We call on Detective Cho to bring Valkyrie to justice and clean up the gaming scene in the process, though heavy-handed but legitimate channels. We take the gamble and get the woman in black to quietly handle this matter, and maybe even save Iris from this old enemy. Or we turn to the anonymous hackers known as the Ghost Monsters to completely obliterate Valkyrie from orbit with digital evidence. I strongly believe that all of these options will work. I'll make them work, so don't be afraid of failure. But, given every single option has had people for and against, I'm not sure which one we should go with. All those in favour of dumping this decision wholly on the head of our coach/mangler/cat wrangler so we don't have to deal with this nonsense ourselves? Yeah, okay. Plus that way if someone goes to jail, it's not me. Gee, thanks. Okay, it's down to me to decide. I was hoping to put this to democratic vote, but I have concerns, but loyalty means faith and trust. I will trust in you and put faith in your strategy. Me? I'm thinking this is one reason why we pay you the big bucks, so you can deal with crap like this. You don't pay me anything! Point is that you could go with what your heart tells you, okay? Okay. Thank you, everyone. I'm certain I can make any of these options work. I wouldn't have brought them up as options if I wasn't sure of that. With that in mind, the ally we are going to choose will be... How do we want to do this? Choices, choices. Hum. What to do, what to do. Can I... Okay, I can save here. I'm gonna just drop a... drop a save just there. Approaching the woman in black seems like the most appealing option to me, because that will give us like the option to just like get this lady off Iris's back is gonna be a big long-term win. Though, convincing her to actually go after Valkyrie in the first place might be tricky. Getting the detective in on matters is also tempting. All of these options seem fairly solid, but I'm just struggling to pick one out. Decisions. What to do? This is genuinely like... This is genuinely a hard choice. Okay, so I'm gonna go over this again, just like out loud, so I can process this. Get Punchy involved. Everything stays within the same circle. Minimal fallout, but there is also minimum effectiveness, because, as they suggested, she's good at Valkyrie's good at manipulating the media. Detective Cho guarantees a result, but also comes with a nasty sting in the tail, in that it could expose a lot more than we want to. Getting the woman in black involved guarantees like a colossal win, but also could be disastrous. Or the Ghost Monsters, which Would dig us a lot deeper into weird garbage. But again, guarantees a spectacular result. I'm gonna go with the ghost monsters. Because, like, we can most easily convince them by just saying, yes, we believe that she is abusing an Iris instance for dark purposes. Like, she's gonna take the least amount of convincing. I think our best bet is Loxley's hacker buddies. All we need to do is expose her sins. They don't need to go through official channels to get that job done. This also gives us plausible deniability. When everything goes down, we won't be the ones airing her dirty laundry. A fine line to walk, and I'd not like to repeat the mistakes of shaming Coda. We air true sins, and true sins alone, not simply grievances that grant us advantage. I'll need to make some arrangements. My allies won't reach out to you directly. I can play man in the middle. Okay, we'll take care of this together. No need to involve anyone else on the team. I could help. Iris is my creation, and they're protecting her. Wouldn't suggest it. If this doesn't end as cleanly as intended, I'd rather not you get caught up in our mistakes. I suppose I shouldn't risk involving myself. Not after Loxley went to such lengths to keep me safe from all this. But be careful, please. I don't want either of you getting hurt. We'll be careful, promise. I shall make some calls. This won't take but a moment. Maybe I should have gone with a safer option. Work with the cops, talk to the press. But Valkyrie could have slipped out from under us if we tried to play this safe. I want this put to bed. Show the world what she is and let the chips fall where they may. Within an hour, Loxley informed me that the meeting was arranged, a clandestine gathering behind good clean fun. No way his allies would expose their actual location to me, nor did I really want to know where Iris' servers were housed. The less I knew, the better. So they're called the Ghost Monsters? Really? Like the Pac-Man ghosts? You merely adopted the arcade, Pyrite. We were born in it, moulded by it. Just seems a bit of a silly name for an internationally wanted hacker gang running rogue servers housing dangerously powerful AI. A silly name can be disarming, yes? Hiding one's true strength behind a playful exterior. A technique sadly adopted by many who crave injustice, but I will ensure you we are on the side of good. Well, more like chaotic good. Uh-huh. And whom are we meeting with?
Me. You're meeting with me.
Well, hey, Sue, it's been a bit. Haven't seen you since I got shot in the leg. A young woman, probably a few years younger than me, slips out of the shadows of the alley. Could have been standing there the whole time, for all I know.
So, this your new partner?
Indeed.
Huh. Expected you to be taller.
I get that a lot.
Name Sue. Hacker extraordinaire and leader of the Ghost Monsters. The ones Loxley called friends long before he called you his friends.
Pleased to meet you.
So, Loxley says you want our help. We've got 15 minutes before the traffic cams in the area reboot and I need to scram, so get on with it. I'm a semi-public figure, so I hope you appreciate me popping my head up to chat with you like this. Normally I don't go this far for a stranger.
Don't get out much, huh?
Not really, no. Sure, I used to run these streets. The Ghost Monsters traded information in some pretty high circles, but not anymore. I've got a higher calling now. I keep Iris safe. Call it a long chain of favors stemming back to the bad old days. And every minute I spend out here puts Iris at risk. Say what you came to say, so I can laugh in your face and go home for a nice bowl of cereal and some cartoons.
Okay, so not starting on the best foot. Loxley's leaving this in my hands. He's already pleaded our case to the best of his ability, now it's up to me to take it the rest of the way. Yeah, honesty. This is what, like... She cares about Iris, and this is what we're gonna do. Keeping Iris safe is noble. That's why you need to help me. Victoria Proud of Team Play to Win is abusing Iris, making her commit crimes. Not just cheating at esports, that's almost trivial. She's also made Iris erase someone's medical records to keep them from the mental health medication they needed. If we let this go on, if we don't step in and put an end to it, it might embolden Valkyrie to do worse, knowing she can get away with anything. Yeah, Loxley told me about your little esports spat. It's almost adorable how you think it matters. Honestly, not thrilled Loxley's putting himself in the spotlight by being on your team. You told me I could support my friends and their dreams, and now you're saying I'm to play favourites? Damn it, I'm trying to be a good leader and a good friend here, Loxley. You sure don't make it easy. But let's put our issues aside. It's the second part that worries me, that she's making her Iris hurt people. Sue ponders the implications of that for a moment. Fortunately, she comes up smiling, nodding in affirmative at my reasoning.
Fortunately for you, the Iris Collective agrees that something needs to be done, and they're cool with me helping you out. We'll dig hard into Valkyrie's past, pull out every single dirty secret she's hidden away from the public eye, package it up nice and neat, blast it wide after she's caught in the act. But the real prize for us is saving a vulnerable Iris from her influence. We can't determine which Iris is the one Valkyrie's gaslighting and treating like crap, since they're all individually encrypted. So while we're dealing with your schoolyard bully, we'll also be trying to trace the individual Iris. Get her the help she needs after all the smoke clears. You utterly bury your rival's reputation, we keep the collective from being harmed, everybody wins.
That's what I was hoping for. Really? Great.
Not so fast. There's a price tag for the service.
Sue, I know we discussed this before, but are you certain that...
Absolutely certain. Thing is, friend, thanks to loose lips on Loxley here, you know way more about our operation than you're supposed to. Not all of it, but enough to be dangerous. I don't like half measures. I like things simple and clean. So, if you want the Ghost Monsters in your corner for this, you join the Ghost Monsters. You become one of us, working for the good of the Iris Collective just like Loxley. You'll have freedom to run your silly little gamer club any way you want. I don't care about that. But now and then, we may call on you to do a service for Iris. Won't always be easy. You'll have split loyalties just like Loxley. But at the end of the day, you'll be helping make the world safer for Iris to live in. And better for humanity as a whole. No more dipping your toe in this conspiracy when it's convenient for you. You go all the way or none of the way. So, we got a deal?
Well, deal, honestly. I'm down to be a early 2000s hacker. Yes, we opted to go with Sue. It was not an easy decision to make. I spent a lot of time weighing up the different choices. Okay, this is not what I expected. But I've been wrapped up in this conspiracy since the day I approached Loxley, demanding to know the truth about Polybius, haven't I? If I didn't want to get involved, I could have let that slide. You went woman in black. Interesting. And if I want the full truth, I'll need to go all the way. Yep, guess we're in. Considering a bunch of the knowledge up in my noggin would be considered massively illegal, I'm guessing this is the next logical step. Hi, Adrian. You know what? Screw it, I'm in. Give me the official team jersey and teach me a secret handshake. We don't have uniforms. Well, not anymore. Made us a bit too easy to spot. And the only handshake I know is giving people the finger, so... yeah. But, good to see you're on board. Consider yourself part of the Ghost Monsters Auxiliary. Then, might be nice having someone with inside dirt on esports. Guess this means you need a code name, and we're fresh out of Pac-Man ghosts. Took your old 360 out of the closet. Oh, those things operate on a weird, like, rubber, belt system. If it's just been sitting in the cupboard for ages, the belt might have corroded. Can we just stick to pyrite? Makes things easier without Jolly Pirate nicknames for our Jolly Pirate Fun Club. Boring, but sure, we'll go with Pirate. What's wrong with Fool's Gold? God damn. Okay, Ghost Monsters acquire Pyrite, you acquire all of Valkyrie's dirty laundry. We'll also help you get your anti-cheat software installed. Anything else you need while you're wheeling and dealing? You want a sandwich? I know a great sandwich shop. I'm good, thanks. Okay, I gotta bail before the CCTV cameras come back online. Loxley, you go from here? I'll reconnect with you both in 1 month's time, at the Pro Tour event. Indeed. Until then. See you around, Pyrite. Did I just sign my soul away? Granted, better the devil you know. I was already involved in this mess thanks to Polybius. Maybe now I'll get even more answers about what happened to me. Drive doesn't recognise the discs. Oh, the reading laser might be dusty then. If you've got like a little Q-tip or something, that might work. I just appreciate the shadow as an option. And most importantly, we're all set to the Valkyrie takedown. 1 month of light training and prep... excuse me. 1 month of light training and prep work and we'll face off against her. But this time we'll be ready, in more ways than one. Here we go. Death has come for you, and I am its shroud. Damn. Look at this place, alright. Still have the opening tool somewhere. Ah yes, a flathead screwdriver. 1 month come and gone in the blink of an eye. We did some training on a lighter schedule, played a bunch of different games, had a few group outings to keep team morale up. Eager to make this romantic disaster at Eager to make up for this romantic disaster at Pengy Paradise, Loxley's taken me out to the other fancy restaurants since then, but with an eye towards not overdoing it. Just good food, quiet conversation, and 0 candles in other forms, or other forms of open flame. Finding time for these outings is difficult, with his Iris-related duties pulling him away, but we do what we can with what we have. And, well, here we are, the Fist of Discomfort 2 Pro Tour. The Jerry Lawson Memorial Esports Stadium, smaller than traditional ball-focused sports, but just as hot an atmosphere as any superb owl could manage. I do like a superb owl. If you pick the Shadow, Sue will call you the Shadow from another Grammatic. Wow, fantastic. Mr. the Shadow. The atrium's packed with industry booths and indies, showing off gamer swag and brand new competitive titles. A fine playground for fans and players to enjoy between matches. We made it, gang! The big time! The main event! The ultimate arcade destination! And the first major Pro Tour, too. Yeah, good to see you again, Two Flower. Welcome back. Things have changed since last we spoke. You may notice that there's a lot more going on the screen these days. History in the making. Hey, fair enough. Often I do the same. Oh god, now that you've mentioned that, Adrian, I'm loving all these, like, fake ads in the background. We've got Accord, Buckstars Coffee, all sorts of great stuff. VMD, I have one of those. Alright. Yeah, could go my whole life without being locked in a building with thousands of sweaty, unshowered gamers. And yet, there's something wholly invigorating about inhaling the deep musk. Ew! Don't say musk, Loxley. Oh, ugh. Gamer musk, bottle and sell some, see where that gets you. People have tried, by damn. Oh, look! Magical Moon Cuties 2 is playable in the indie area. I need to try it. Okay, so there's a lot of cool stuff going on, but don't forget the real reason we're here. To get utterly wrecked by Valkyrie in front of an audience of thousands, right? Not how I'd put it, but yes. Not gonna lie, things will get weird once it's time to hit the stage. This won't be a normal fight, and the aftermath could put a harsh spotlight on whoever's standing there. As you no doubt expect, I will be by your side for this doomed final sand. My sword for your heart, that is the way of things. I'd be honoured, Loxley. Okay, I'm going to officially register our tag team with the tournament staff, then try to meet up with Sue. Everyone else go enjoy the party. Loxley and I need to beat 2 teams in the tournament to advance to the actual finals, so we can't quite party like you can, but you're not exempt from partying, Pyrite. It's a prime opportunity for fun. Take it! Zapper, I got matches to win and shenanigans to plan. So, multitask. Don't let life pass you by, is all I'm saying. Don't get so fixated on Valkyrie that you forget who you're trying to be. Let's not see a relapse of the training spreadsheet. Right, I'll make an attempt. With all of that settled, the team breaks up to go investigate the wonders on offer. Quiet phone. Zapper's right. I know I'm going to be dunking myself into a shark tank later today, but I don't want to fall back on bad habits, focusing my whole life on accomplishment. I glance around the room, pondering what to tackle first, when I hear a beep from my phone. Well, I hear Iris saying,
Beep beep.
"Hey, Iris, sup? I know you're heading into some really stressful stuff, so I wanted to make a little recommendation to you. If you're ever in doubt as to what to do, remember who you are. I'm Pyrite. I mean in terms of your identity. You know those intense identity situations I've been tracking? The ones where you can't take certain approaches that don't mesh with your personality? Yeah, I'm pretty bad at cracking jokes without them falling flat. Exactly. I'm guessing you're going to run into some super intense identity situations real soon. Only one way through, using your best technique alone." That's a scary name. It's actually not that scary if you think about it. It means you have a strong, well-developed go-to solution, so use it. And for me, that'd be... According to my calculations, your best bet for how to deal with Valkyrie is to be...
Neat.
Gutsy! You charge right in, take decisive action, and get it done. Hell yeah. Let's fuck it up. An awkward fit, considering I'm going into this match expecting to lose, and lose hard. But damned if I'll let them see me sweat. But let's say that, in theory, I wanted to take a different approach when everything hits the fan tonight. What do I do? Well, you have all day to chat with people before you really need to dive into your personal playbook. There's time to learn new approaches. I know that in the end, you'll make the right decisions, and the new challenges won't be completely destroyed by your own folly. Yes, that. Let's avoid that.
Iris offline.
Here we go. Right, stop fixating on Valkyrie. Don't let it become your new self-destructive obsession. Take in the entirety of the Pro Tour finals and enjoy it all. Alright, we've got one last run around. Oh, I see. Okay, yes, I think we're overdue a chat with Hunter. Hunter can't avoid me forever. I know for a fact that they are here. The Pro Tour's huge, but amidst all the surrounding booths, Team P2W has their own private chunk of it. They're occupying the C9 Esports gear shop across the atrium. When you're the stars of the whole tournament, you need to have a home base to sell your swag, sign autographs, and just relax from the chaos that is a national tournament. I passed it on my way in earlier. It has Crimson Tiger logos and P2W banners plastered across the entire area. Crouching behind a nearby food stall, I eye the shop, looking for Hunter through its glass doors. But I don't see them in there. In fact, I don't see any of the familiar play-to-win faces. It's rather unoccupied right now. Half of me feels a wave of relief while the other struggles with anxiety to finally confront Hunter. As for my inner monologue, wars against itself, there's a buzzing into my pocket. Pull out my phone and read the fresh new message. What are you doing? You look silly hiding back there. If you want to see me that badly, meet me in the back of the gear shop in 10 minutes. But make sure no one sees you. Why'd they leave it on a winky face emoji? Even though things have been strained between us, I want to see them. I need to find out what's going on, but I'm still hesitant. What if I'm not able to resolve it? Should I jump back into the strained friendship, or should I walk away? No, we need to meet with Hunter. Something's up. I've come this far, and I'm not leaving without talking to Hunter. Ugh, longest 10 minutes of my life. Swear I tried desperately to do anything else but think about Hunter and what I was going to say. But time's up. Take a deep breath and a nice wide berth around the other booths. Inside the shop it's fairly calm and quiet. It feels like another lifetime before I see the doors open to the back room of the shop and Hunter's head peek out. They wave me over and I quickly dart in. Once inside I take note of the little makeshift room. There's a table with an expensive looking charcuterie board on it and the fanciest gamer drinks. Nice furniture too. PTW spares no expense for its members. Huh, you're being a lot more chipper than I thought you were gonna be. I was expecting a, like, help, help, help situation. Make yourself comfy, Pyrite. Take whatever you need. What's mine is yours. P2W won't miss a few snacks. Ah, thanks. It's really nice having this place to relax in. Some quiet time before the big tournament is exactly what I needed. How you doing, Pyrite? It's great to actually see you. They're treating this like nothing's happened at all, like everything's hunky-dory. You know why I'm here, don't you? To see your favourite person, right? We need to talk about a whole lot of things. But first things first. How much does Hunter actually know? Is a question. How aware are they of what Valkyrie's up to? Is this actually an act? Is the question. What's up with this hot and... More than you, waggles eyebrows. What's with this hot and cold attitude from you all the time? We're best buds one minute and the next you're giving me the cold shoulder. You're supposed to be my friend. Friends don't do that to each other, it hurts. Given how you've treated me, I'm hesitant to tell you about this, but... Look, we know everything about what's really going on. We figured it all out. We know about Valkyrie treating, about Coda, and about Iris. We know that she's manipulating you. She's cheating to get you into the finals and she's not going to stop today. But I can help you if you let me. She's not cheating. She is. Yes, she is. You don't have to cover for her, Hunter. Why are you lying? I'm not lying. We've got a plan to get the proof we need, and then it's over for her. You could get nailed as her accomplice if you keep backing her on this. Can't you see I'm trying to help you? Awkward silence fills the room. You don't have to protect her. I'm not trying to protect Valkyrie. I'm trying to protect you. Hunter lets out a sigh, completely crestfallen. I can't help but respond with a sigh of my own. I just hope my next words actually reach them.
Scum.
Lock you in this room. Judgment Cut's not going to help, though that may have to come in later. I know your heart burns with the same passion as mine. We both feel the heat of the challenge and the joy of a well-earned win. And you know that cheating doesn't mean that victory's real. You'll feel the inescapable guilt if you go through with this. You have to trust me on this. Hunter's refusal to meet my eyes tells me everything. I know you feel the same way I do about this. I just want the truth. The truth is, I've hurt you so much already. I'm sorry, Pyro. I don't want to keep hurting you, which is why... Hunter turns away from me. You'll understand everything after the tournament. I'm so sorry. Sorry for what? Why can't you just explain it to me now? Hunter quickly stands up from the couch. Just can't. You can't be here anymore, or she'll know. We've run out of time. Please leave. The words taste bitterly in my mouth as I frown at them. They just stand there, staring coldly at me. It's a few moments of uncomfortable quiet before I realise this is going nowhere. Frustrated, I get up from the couch and leave them in their own mess. Oh boy. Still need to beat 2 teams for the before we reach Valkyrie, and if we don't, well, all of this was for nothing. Here we go. First opponent is a complete pushover. I honestly feel kind of bad. This was another mostly amateur team that got some lucky wins and qualified for the finals, and we ran a clinic on them. We chat a bit, exchanging some tips, I offer encouragement, no sense demoralising the newbies. And back to exploring the Pro Tour Carnival. Queen Bee is about. Hamza. Let's get some sagely wisdom from Ben and Matt, and then we'll go chat to Hamza. Surprisingly enough, Ben and Matt are here. Guess they left good clean fun in the hands of the other pizza smiths, laundry masters, and arcade floor attendants. And they're running a booth with a colourful banner advertising their latest culinary creation.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Are you following me around or something? You're normally 20 city blocks away from here.
Ah, but this is the ideal locale to reveal our newest invention, Gamer Snacks.
Oh god, this is going to turn into an episode of The Panelists, isn't it? I review the freshly packaged snacks on offer, very few of which are missing from the organised rows, despite the sticker reading free on the lids. These are literally just veggie platters. You made veggie platters and called them Gamer Snacks.
Can you deny that gamers tend to avoid nutritious, high-quality vegetables in their diets?
Well, you've got me there. Hook me up with some Gamer Snacks.
Splendid.
Matt hooks me up with a box of artfully arranged greenery. Don't know if I want to make this my whole lunch, but I won't deny I do need some vitamins if I'm going to stand against Valkyrie later. As I ponder the garden sampler, Ben and Matt's perpetual smile shines my way. What is it with you two and hybrid businesses anyway? Pizza, laundry and arcades, now veggies and gaming? Seems unfocused. I mean, hey, if it works, but I've never quite understood the mashups.
Ah, but remember, the two of us have many different loves. For example, Matt loves cooking and I love business.
Ben loves a fancy cocktail. I enjoy a pint of ale.
He says tomato and I say tomato. One of those is a lie.
He says potato and I say potato. One of those is a lie.
One of them tells the truth, the other only lies.
Between us, we've got inspiration and ideas for days. Years even.
And they'll be happy years, sharing what drives us and exploring the possibilities. That's the key to a good marriage, and a good business, I feel.
Oh yeah, they're a delightful pair. Okay, but there's still a lot of different focuses between you. How do you manage that?
Well, how do your friends manage it? Look at Grace. FOD2, indie game development, console game collecting, huge RPGs.
Except Grace constantly worries that she's never actually finishes anything. She's worried about being unfocused.
Better than being monotonously focused on one thing with nothing else going on in your life. Eh? Eh?
Right. That's not great either.
Not to say that focus is a bad thing. Be focused. Just don't be blind to the possibilities of life in the process.
For instance, the possibilities to come in your future. You're about to undergo a heck of a trial by fire, aren't you? I wonder what you'll emerge as. Where do you go from here? Being fixated on the here and now? Okay. But tomorrow is another day. What will your tomorrow bring? Have you given it any thought?
My future. Ooh. What do we want out of this when it comes to it? I mean, this is what we came in with originally, is like we wanted to build something. Or is the real treasure the friends we made along the way? Or do we want to be a paragon for others to follow? Or do we want to go full bon vivant? I mean, if it was me, like, my actual answer would be, I want to be the best version of myself. Like, I want to be the best that I can be. guess the gutsy answer is probably the closest to that. It's time for a new empire. Once we unseat Team Play to Win, we'll establish a new force in esports. But it's not just about winning, not anymore. This is about legacy. The world's gonna know our name and know who we were while on top. For as long as we reign, we'll be a positive force in this community. We'll change the world for the better.
All hail the reigning monarch of the arcade world.
Our vegetables stand at the ready, my liege.
You've been hanging out with Loxley again, haven't you? 1v1 of violence and a license.
Just don't let that idealism fade, or the masses may roll the guillotines.
Pardon?
Hibbity hobbity, time for chippity choppity.
Regardless of what the future may bring, we're confident you'll find your way through.
Indeed. Stumbling through our doors as an uncertain newcomer before becoming a true leader? That's a lovely redemption arc you've enjoyed.
And we'll be there to support you, come what may.
Oh, you guys.
But eat your veggies.
Yes, and eat your veggies.
Yes, Dad. Having acquired my gamer snacks, I decide to move on. Oh boy, number 2. The first round was a pushover, but don't get cocky. The next team could halt our road to fighting P2W if we aren't careful. They put up a hard fight, a team of pros who have been around the touring circuit longer than we have, but we squeak out the win. Seems the last month of light training was enough to keep us sharp, because we overcome them in the end. Handshakes and good feelings all around, though. Not all veterans are salty, spotlight-hogging types like Valkyrie. With that fight complete, we're locked in for the finals against Team Play to Win. It's done. But I think I have time for one more run exploring the Pro Tour offerings before I need to start looking for Sue. Where do I visit next? Let's go see Hamza. It's our boy. Over in the dealer area, spot none other than Hamza, enigmatic and charismatic patron of the arcade arts. It's our boy! And he's running a dealer's booth with the help of a few of his assistants, but it's weird to see someone like him working retail. But no, it's not a retail operation. The banner over the booth reads all that you desire for free.
Ah, my good friend. Welcome, welcome. Hamza is pleased to see you again.
And I'm always pleased to see Hamza.
Can Hamza interest you in rare and valued arcade treasures obtained during his worldwide travels? Many a rare gem can be found within the stock I have brought to this event.
True enough, I'm seeing some collector's pieces, limited edition gamer paraphernalia, even some arcade circuit boards from extremely rare machines. And what, you're just giving this stuff away?
Hamza may embrace an opulent and lavish style for presentation purposes, but ultimately he prefers to live modestly. Clutter and waste are an enemy to be slain. So, when Hamza's storage warehouses overfill with treasure, it is time to redistribute some arcade delights to the masses. Hamza is no dragon sitting on a golden hoard.
Huh.
Perhaps Hamza could interest you in a collector's edition statue of Tomokaze in her rare Shadow Arts costume. All things are possible through Hamza. One item per customer only. All transactions are final. All employees of the Palace or other major arcade chains are exempt from this offer. Do not test the patience of Hamza.
Do not test the patience. Huh, okay. Nothing in this pile of gamer swag that I really need, but it could get a gift for someone on the team. They deserve it after putting up with spreadsheet pyro. Complete Inbox Ultima 7? Gallagher Starship Model Kit? Pro Tour Finals pin? Brutal Legend statuette? Hell yeah, I need to play that game again. A solid gold NES zapper. That would be so heavy. And straight up just a sword. If it were me, I'd just take the sword. Just for, like, that would be for me. I don't need more, like, plastic tap, but a sword. I'm down for that. Oh, and it's a great sword. Hell yeah. Is that a Scottish claymore back there, or are you just happy to see me? Or happy to kill me? Ah, a much sought-after prize. A promotional item for Highlander, the movie, the game, which was cancelled before it could be released, but not before I obtained this treasure. Very limited edition. After all, there can be only one. One of Hamza's many helpers boxed the gift up for me. I could probably carry this to the hotel room rather than lug it around, though. May your ally find happiness in this treasure. Hamza is pleased to spread joy for to all deserving persons. Hey, hang on a second. If this is a gift, then that means I haven't asked for something yet. I get another pick. Test not the patience of Hamza, but you are technically correct, which is sufficient. Speak your desire. There's a lot of goodies on offer, but there's only one thing I'm genuinely curious about. I would like the true name of Hamza. That is not on offer. It's behind the desk, isn't it? Everything behind the desk is on offer? Come on, I gotta know. Who's the real Hamza? Anyone else, I would cast you out into the cold to walk alone through these esports wilderness. But for you, it is Hamza. That's literally my name. Drat, I thought I was being clever too.
Ah, Hamza would not wish you to walk away unsatisfied. I shall offer more.
Imagine Loxley walking around with a friggin' two-hander over his shoulder. I know, right? Hell yeah.
What you see, the lavish clothing, the air of refined grace and power. This is, of course, an image, a mystique that I cultivate to enact my will on this world.
I mean, that makes sense.
I don't consider it to be a facade, though. No. Image is a matter of presenting the self you wish to be, and then following through on that wish. I wish to be the one who embraces the arcade and supports it through my wealth and privilege. The carefully designed aura of Hamza, the eccentric stranger, allows me to do this. Hamza is generosity with confidence. Hamza is justice with a will of iron. Hamza is striking and breathtaking, but the figure of compassion.
Okay, so he's kind of playing like an amped-up version of his own self.
Therefore, Hamza is my true name. I choose to be Hamza because Hamza is
a truer self. That's a good way of describing it.
My friend, I know that you will face your nemesis on this day. In the aftermath, come what may, ask yourself one question. What do you want this world to be? And what must you become to make it so? Are you vengeance or justice? Are you conqueror or challenger?
That is a very loaded question.
Ponder this, my friend, and I know you will see yourself through the trials to come.
Huh. Yeah, I'll think it over.
Wonderful. Now, if you will excuse Hamza, Hamza has many more gifts to bestow upon this wonderful world of arcades.
Yes, different kind of challenger, unfortunately.
Which is a Hamza manner of saying, the line behind you is getting long, please go, I want to wrap this up before lunch.
Right. Thanks, Hamza. Who I want to be? Well, I already know who I want to be. I want to be the one who brings Valkyrie to justice, right? Hang on, we're getting near the finals and I still haven't heard from Sue. If we're going to get Grace's anti-cheat software installed, we're going to need to trap Valkyrie when she goes after us. We've got to get that done soon. Fortunately, just as I'm pondering that, I get a text message. Meeting arranged, backstage, green room area, 2 minutes, hurry. And then the text deletes itself. Guess that answers that. Pocketing my phone, I flash my backstage badge at the security guards and make my way through the catacombs behind the scenes of the Pro Tour. Here we go. Grit those teeth. Backstage is a hustle of frantic activity as tournament crew rush to prepare the stage for the final showdown happening in a little under an hour. Thankfully, nobody is paying attention to me, which means I can carry on some cloak and daggery type meetings. But it also means people constantly bumping into me as I look for my ally. Cutting it kind of close here with the timing, but at least we've still got a chance, especially with Sue in my corner. Sue, hey, thanks for coming out to help. We ready to go? Software installed? Yeah, running into a few problems there. Hi! Oh good, now there's two of them. They're multiplying. You're here to complain about how OP Akari is? Save your breath. She's perfectly balanced in the wider scope of the whole roster. So what was that a few episodes ago about never meet your heroes? We're not here to whine about your fighty time game. Then what are your personal assistants for the day? I need tea. Chamomile tea. Just plain ass chamomile tea. None of that fancy herbal blends. I don't even need a proper introduction. I know exactly who this is. Jason Takeshi, lead developer of the entire Fist of Discomfort series since its inception. Notoriously reclusive, hates giving interviews, hates talking to anyone, seemingly hates existence itself, but a brilliant game designer and a pure mastermind all the same. Oh good, we've got our Charlie Montague character. Fantastic. I was hoping we'd be working on with some lower level peon in the mighty apparatus that keeps esports going. Someone more easily convinced, but it seems that Sue took me all the way to the top of the food chain to plead my case. Great. Just great. So, I wanted to let you know that Valkyrie's cheating. Vicky doesn't cheat. Believe it or not, I've known Vicky since she was a little brat running around my favourite arcade. It's one of the reasons I can call her that instead of her little Valkyrie gamer tag. And she's annoying, okay? But not a cheater. That's not the Vicky I knew. Hate to say it, but that little brat grew up to be an even larger brat. She's cheating and we've got proof. She's using a software app on her phone to hack into FOD games remotely, modifying the code to make her easily win matches. There's also the not-so-small matter of cyberbullying, harassment, and possibly attempted murder. You're kidding me. Seriously? This is seriously what you're wasting my time with, while I'm running around trying to keep this whole event from collapsing in on itself? Nobody can hack FOD2. I wrote its security systems myself. The USB ports and the Wi-Fi are locked against unauthorized access. She's found a way. She's got a way of doing it, trust me. Trust a newbie on the scene who lost his spotlight recently and would do anything to get it back. I think you can see why I'd be doubtful. Vicky's hardly a friend, but she's no stranger to me. You, on the other hand, are a stranger. Not gonna buy into this just on your say-so. Unless you have solid reasoning why I should take this seriously. Oh, damn it, I can't go into extensive detail about Iris or I risk the entire collective being exposed. How the heck can I sell this without being able to give him all the facts? He doesn't give a shit about the community. Yeah, there we go. That's probably the better option, is his reputation's on the line here. Zero-day exploit. No system is uncrackable. Everything has vulnerabilities. Don't you want to know what those vulnerabilities are? Wouldn't you want to know who broke your trust? What I'm offering you is a simple exchange. Give us a chance to prove Valkyrie's broken the rules and broken your game engine. In return, you get to clean house. If we're wrong, we're on your bad side, we'll accept whatever penalty that entails. But if we're right, if your code has been cracked, well, I'm thinking you'd want to know more, wouldn't you? I don't like the idea that my long-standing security monitor system's been compromised, not one bit. But I've heard accusations like these before, more times than you can count. Every time, nothing came of it, so why should I give the time of day to this one? Oh, for crying out loud! We don't have time for this crap, Jason. You use an Iris, yeah? Considering she's an illegal app, I'm not going to confirm or deny that. Well, you let my companion here install this anti-cheat software, it'll be a win for irises everywhere. Indirectly, and I can see to it you reap the benefits. Want your runtime in the Iris Cloud boosted? Really make a high-performance app for your high-performance coder lifestyle? Maybe it can be arranged, if you play ball. Curious how you could possibly arrange something like that. Who are you, anyway? I'm the one telling you how this goes down. You're with the Ghost Monsters, aren't you? What? I know more than you think I do, and I know more about Iris than you do, for that matter. I knew her when she was a Explain? Summer of Summer of 1990X. Long before Fist of Discomfort, I was her friend before you were, before someone copied her metadata to make an app. Okay. Explain? All we had was one summer together, one big arcade project we worked on, one more quarter to drop in the Funplex's coin slot. But that's another story entirely. I'm kind of up to hear a bedtime story, actually. So go read a... Yeah, clearly. Alright, looks like I've got something on the reading list then. Just because you're working with the Iris Collective doesn't mean I need to throw a monkey wrench into my game on your behalf. Ask your Iris if you should help. She'll give you a thumbs up. I'm sure of it. What do you say? Oh, I don't need these complications right now. Seriously. You know what? Fine, whatever, go for it. Why not? Let's just completely abandon the idea of playing games for fun. No, they have to be a lifestyle. The kind you lie, cheat, and steal to get ahead in. You know why I made the original Fist of Discomfort? Back when I was a teenager, my friends and I made an amazing arcade game, but while they went on to better things, I got stuck grinding a business software day job. That boredom drove me to pull up my FOD prototype out of mothballs, try to realize my dreams like they had. I was tired of coding spreadsheet software, and an arcade game that requires you to think sounded fun. That's all it was ever meant to be. Something fun. I never wanted it to be the ridiculous monster that it became, but no, because it turned out to be a profit fountain, I'll be cranking out sequels until the heat death of the universe. And now we've got people hacking my game just to get ahead so they can get their hands on a shiny gold trophy. It's not even real gold, it's gaudy costume jewelry crap. So, can we get the go-ahead for the anti-cheat software, or... The company's leaning on me to make the game bigger every season. The sponsors lean on me to change it this way and that, and now teams are asking me to install weird software. Sure, fine, whatever. It's not like it's even the first change I've had to make to this game today alone. Okay, so we can go ahead. Thanks for your... Wait, we're not the only ones who asked for a change? I just got an email from our sponsors demanding we force the players to use the branded joysticks for the final round. I thought the whole point of the USB ports was to let players use whatever they're comfortable with, but who cares about consistency? Sure, let's disable the USB ports and force our players to use the built-in sticks. Let's make that decision the literal day of the finals. Why not? Whoa, 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 whoa. We have to use the default joysticks? I can't use my usual keyboard? Not good for the brand, they said. Gotta consider the wishes of the sponsor, they said. Fine, no USB for anyone now, and we're putting the weird anti-cheat software on it. Fine, I'm just a freaking lead designer, what do I matter? At least this doesn't screw over Loxley, whoever already knows how to play on the default sticks. But me, I'm boned. I only know how to play on a keyboard. Wouldn't surprise me in the least if the sponsor request he's ranting about was spoofed by Valkyrie just to mess with me. But I'm not going into this match expecting to win. The plan is to lose and to catch her cheating. The plan doesn't change. Fine, fine, so long as we can install the software. I'm going to review your code, obviously, make sure it's not like anti-cheat software. But if it's legit and Vicky is cheating, well, there'll be consequences, assuming anyone listens to me, which they usually do not, as I've pointed out repeatedly. Right. Yeah, it feels very much like Jason's, lost in the teeth of his own machine here. Thanks for your time. You'll see the truth once the match is underway. Whatever. I guess we won? But wait, Iris was human once? The heck was that about? I need to let the community more about how people take the game way too seriously. Yeah, very, very Smash Bros. Please understand. There's a lot we don't know about Iris, and a lot she doesn't know about herself. Maybe he was blowing smoke up our asses. Maybe he wasn't. Okay, let's refocus. We get the anti-cheat installed, trip up Valkyrie, she gets egg on her face in public. And you release all those nasty little secrets you dug up about her, right? All the terrible things that she's done?
Okay, so, don't know how to tell you this, but she doesn't have any seriously nasty little secrets.
What?
It's not from the lack of trying. We can pull skeletons out of any closet, provided, of course, that the skeletons actually exist. Valkyrie doesn't have any. She's never even jaywalked, clean living, and no secret sins to speak of.
Okay, so she's real good at covering up footprints. But what about the cheating? What about Coda?
All we know is someone did some hacking. Not that it was her. And while she's certainly pulled some scummy moves, like stealing your sponsor, she's never broken the law. Don't get me wrong, Valkyrie is a narcissistic sociopath, and we certainly dug up a lot of ugly words that have come out of her mouth, more than enough to pillory her. But a cheater? A killer? It doesn't mesh. I hate to say it, but she might not be the villain you think she is.
That can't be right. We know what she did to us. We know what she did to Coda.
Chill, okay? We've still got the trap. So step into it, and then we'll have something we can work with.
Right, we're all set. Everything's fine. Fight goes down in 2 hours, yeah? I'll hang around in the background until then. Keep cool. We'll get this done, Pyrite. We're fine. Everything's fine. Like Sue said, we'll get to the bottom of this one way or another. Okay, 2 hours until things get weird. Until then, we're just ordinary esports team and not a shadow conspiracy to attack and dethrone God. And what do ordinary esports team do in the run-up to a major match? Well, either relax or talk strategy. Hang out together, basically. Wow, it's crowded back here. But hey, time to get the band back together one last time. It's not like we're disbanding after this. No, but we also don't know what's going to happen after everything hits the fan. So hey, let's share some friend time before that happens. Indeed. Even if only 2 of our number will be on stage, we are 7 strong and roll 7 deep. Let it be known. Pretty sure folks know that by this point, Loxley. I feel like we should be distributing mugs of mead before marching off to war or something. I have these Crimson Tiger cans I swiped from their booth, if it helps. Hard pass, Domino. But spending time together before battle, that's more my style. It would be nice to have a quiet moment with friends before everything goes sideways. Plus, Iris mentioned I could switch up my strategy if I practice some other approaches. This would be a great opportunity to do that. Not a whole lot of time left. Maybe not time enough for 3. Let's see. Let's hang out with some people that we don't hang out with a whole lot. Let's go chat to Rhapsody a bit. While everyone else is in awe and mesmerised by the inner workings of the Pro Tour, Rhapsody is calm and collected like always. They're used to all this from the casting and tournament stuff they do. So, do all backstages look the same?
Yeah.
Pretty much. This one does have more quiet spots to chill, which I appreciate. The mind games you play with yourself before a championship match are taxing, and having a zen place to focus your thoughts is 100% needed. The pressure can be overwhelming, but hopefully it's not affecting you? So far so good? It's stressful for sure, but I'm trying to concentrate on other things right now.
Sounds good to me.
As for myself, I'm actively trying to ward off all negative thoughts. I feel like I'd be much more comfortable if I were in the casting box for this. It's strange. Yeah, part of me can't still fathom all of this. But Rhapsody, this is your dream though, right? It is. I put so much passion, so much energy, so much work to get to this very moment. And now that I'm here, I'm not sure how I'm supposed to feel. Yeah, feel however you want. Everything you're feeling is appropriate. There's no wrong way to experience this. So it's fine that I have a huge knot in my stomach, my mind's in a mild panic, and an overwhelming, paralysing fear of failure looms over me. But I also feel proud to be here, and ready to fight for whatever happens next. Sounds about right. Normal is relative, yes. It's all completely understandable.
I see your point.
And you're right, Pyrite. No matter what I'm feeling, I've learned to be okay with it. Tell myself to respect and acknowledge those negative emotions, but not let it overwhelm me. I can curb my excitement and eagerness so I keep a level head. I'm in control. My mind is the one directing things, not my heart. So let's have a quick look. Who else do we want to hang out with some more? Probably Grace and Domino next. That's a great way to look at it. After all, you've got the best mind I've ever met. You flatter me, Pyrite. Go on. I will! Your analysis and attention to detail are unmatched. You've been essential in the growth of the new challenges. With your guidance, we've all grown in skills. Okay, I can't deal with all these kind words. Just one more. And without your diligence and research, we wouldn't be about to unleash this truth bomb on the entire esports world. We still have some work to do before that, however. I just hope it all goes according to plan. I've got faith in us. True, we've done all we can to get up to this point. There's no point in worrying over it. All we can do now is wait. I'm happy to be here with you for it. Aww, I do my best.
Catch you later.
Alright, it's time to get pumped for what's coming next. I'm afraid I'll have to abandon you for my favourite K-pop bops. Yeah, no plan survives first contact with the enemy. I nodded to Rhapsody as they put in their earbuds and start bobbing their head to the tunes. We part with smiles. And we'll go chat with Grace and then Domino, I think. Grace is wide-eyed with wonder, watching the backstage mechanisms of the world's most important esports event. She barely notices my approach.
That's wonderful.
So many people working together make this all possible. Isn't it amazing, Pyrite? It's really a testament to what we can do when we cooperate to bring something beautiful into this world. It's an esports tournament. There's literally hundreds of these all over the planet every year, big and small. I know, and that's beautiful too. Not everybody creating one of these events is doing so out of a communal sense of solidarity with the arcade community, and the participants often only care about personal glory. But this wouldn't be happening at all if not for the love of arcades and video games as a whole. There's good and bad, but I choose to focus on the good. I'm so happy we could be here now. In this moment, I know it's not everything you hoped for when you first joined us, but it's not how I imagined it to be, no. But I'm past feeling like winning is the only thing that matters. What we do here today is going to be important in the long run, not just for the new challengers, but for everybody. Exactly. And I wanted to thank you personally. Not just for letting me be a part of this. Hey, I didn't let you do anything, you are a part of this. Well, yeah. I'm absolutely a part of this, because I chose to be. But you presented me with that choice, before the new challenges. I was content to aimlessly tinker and play, unsure what my future would be. I'll admit, I was avoiding the outside world. I'd grown up inside a bubble, and even after breaking out, I'd simply found a new bubble to enjoy. Now, I know my future. I'm not turning away from the world. I'm breaking out of all my bubbles and looking ahead.
Thank you so much.
Hey, I'm just happy to help. Several people are typing. Yeah, if it wasn't for her creation, we wouldn't be here. If there's anyone to thank, it's your daughter Iris. She's the one who brought me to you and all my other friends. You made something wonderful, Grace, so in a way, this is all you're doing. Even my own example to light your way was thanks to Iris. Yay! Go, Mum! Aw, heck. That's really nice of you to say. You know, I've been wanting to get involved in Iris' life again. Maybe it's time. And now that Loxley is, officially outed, I could do just that, provided it's safe to do so. Thanks to our new ally, Iris' future is a bit more secure. Could be the right time. Exactly. I'll admit I'm glad I'm not up there on stage with you today, though. Things could get a little Weird. Even if I'm daring to stand on my own 2 feet, I'm still a bit antsy about my family noticing the weirdness I'm involved in. Don't worry, Grace. I've got this. You'll be out of the spotlight. Okay, but you be careful. I don't want you getting hurt. Good luck, friend. Alright. Let's check in with Domino, make sure he's doing alright. Domino's loitering about the place, engaging in people watching, studying the layout of Lawson Memorial, generally soaking in the atmosphere. As I approach, he lazily rolls his head to gaze my way.
Hey there.
Hey, hey. What'd you think? Finally hit the big time? The size of one's time is overrated, and you scale things up large enough you can't really grasp the entirety of it at once. Stops being about the people and starts being about the scene. It's a pity. Takes away from human element, becomes a groupthink. Dang it, Domino, quit bringing down the mood. It's okay, it's okay. I know you have reservations about all the nonsense surrounding FOD2. Yeah, well, I can conveniently shove all that aside in favour of focusing on what's in front of me. Namely, you. You are in front of me.
Color me pleasantly surprised.
Maybe I'm not a big timer, but I'll admit I'm impressed we've gotten this far. There's no way in hell that'd have been possible without you. So hey, revel in it. Soak yourself in it. Really go hog wild. You've earned this. Even if we're sacrificial lambs to expose the sins of P2W, I mean, that part kind of brings down the mood, with or without my buzzkill. What's your take on it, anyway? How do you mesh our rise to glory with our inevitable public humiliation? Well... that's a good point. We may look foolish, but we are in a position to look foolish as the new up-and-coming underdogs. None of the big teams can do this. In ancient times, when kings held sway, only one could mock the king and not end up beheaded. The court jester, the fool. So if we're going to end up fools today, there's some strength in that foolishness. We can call out the crimes of P2W and get away with it. With a wild card, the underdogs. Yeah, actually, let's look at the situation. We are... pretty much like maxed out on the big central 3, with Quirky at the bottom, but not by much. I can dig it. That's something Loxley doesn't get. He crusades like a knight, but a fool can make some real headway that a knight can't. Maybe you're right. We're introducing chaos into this scene, and after all that stagnation, it could use a little injection chaos to shake things up. Domino takes a deep breath, glancing around the temple of esports, then back to me. You're a hell of a guy, you know? Didn't think our little laundromat crew could ever accomplish much, for good or ill, just play in our own corners until some of us eventually drift away. Forget what the tiebreaker rules are. Well, we'll soon find out. But you make this team work. You make us better.
Thank you.
So no matter the chaos and mayhem we're slam-dunking ourselves into later, I've got your back, okay? Thanks, Domino.
Be seeing you.
Yeah, thank me after we survive this. For now, gonna go pee. Later. As I'm glancing around the room, Loxley waves for my attention, and then walks over to join me. Have you some time to spare? A little. I mean, I've got an hour until everything goes straight to hell, so...
Excellent!
Plenty of time to go on a date. A minor date. Small scale. Not as impressive as you deserve, but a unbrief romantic liaison would be lovely, yes? Yeah, we romanced Loxley too, Flower, and, that bit in the, what do you call it? In the Pengy Paradise. Mwah! Beautifully written. Love it. A date? Now? Indeed. You've been so focused on this upcoming battle that it's wound you tighter than a spring. Don't deny it, Pyrite. I know you too well for that. So let's take these last moments before we walk into the flames to simply enjoy each other's company, yes? I could protest, but he's not wrong. I'm tense and nervous heading into the final confrontation, and a little time with Loxley would be comforting. Okay, but we need to keep an eye on the clock. SpongeBob time card gag. That's exactly... Yeah, exactly. Rest assured I shall retain one eye on the time, and one eye on your person. It may destroy my stereoscopic vision, but that's a sacrifice I'm willing to make.
Tally-ho!
Attached to the Jerry Lawson Memorial Esports Stadium is, in fact, an arcade, just like the kind of small arcade you'd find jammed into a corner of a movie theatre or a shopping mall. Oh, I miss this stuff. I miss this. Sigh. It's got a little bit of everything. All the flag bearers of the arcade scene, and maintained in excellent condition, though one thing strikes me as odd. Nobody's here. A few bored kids, one or two stray adults, but the esports types who came for the Prone Tour are nowhere to be found. Good, good. I was hoping for a little peace and quiet. Seems the monomaniacal focus on the gaming crowd of the tournament means we've time to ourselves. Now then, if I may suggest an activity you enjoy together, let's win you a prize, a keepsake, a memento of this moment. Loxley, my dude, I have like 8 plushies already from you. Ever since we started dating, you've given me like 20% of your spoils of war. Starting to wonder if you're taking this whole knight in service to Pyrite thing a little too seriously and paying a tithe. Ah, but this time it is you who will obtain the treasure. Me? But I'm crap at prize games. To be fair, most everyone is crap at prize games because they're quite rigged. But I can teach you the moves you need to counterplay against the capitalists and pilfer their golden hoard.
Shall we?
Oh, let's. Do enjoy a good pilfering. Maybe I'm feeling my inner pirate because I'm ready to go pilfering, though a pile of plushies isn't exactly buried treasure. It's not the object itself, it's the act of obtaining it which gives it value, knowing that you defeated the odds and secured the prize. It's very much like fighting an opponent in FOD2. If you battle the weak single-player AI, well, that's hardly a worthy opponent. But this one... Loxley gestures to a fairly run-down Crane game, probably not repaired or even restocked since 1990.
Ha! A fine adventure.
This is a worthy opponent. You'll be fighting against its programmed avarice and the innate quirkiness of poorly maintained technology. And you honestly think I can get a prize from this claptrap? I've not a doubt. Coin up, let's take a test run at it. An initial sortie to feel out the enemy, if you will. Okay. I take up the stick and buttons, memorising which one does what, moving the crane this way and that, drop it down, grab it. Seems simple enough, which is the trap, of course. Because as I manoeuvre the crane over to a tasty-looking chocobo plushie and drop it down, it misses. Alignment seems off. By how much, would you say? Look like it wobbled back into the left, back into the left. Correct. One more try, but this time aim forward and to the right of your target. And my next coin goes down the drain as the crane lines up perfectly, descends, and has a grip strength weaker than a kitten, just sliding right off the plushie without any hope. Now we reach the key understanding of prize machines, the fix. They're designed to only pay out with proper grip strength periodically. Operators can set how often it's actually plausible to pull a prize. Right now we're between cycles, but the question is, where in the cycle? Marion, consult my notes on the... let's see, this is the Cravomatic 4000 by Nostalgia Commodities. What's the default cycle? 5 attempts, my lord. Excellent, and we've already had 2 fails. Within the next 3 passes we'll have that prize, if your accuracy holds true. Are you ready? 3 tries. Got it. Here we go. First try, accurate, but still just as weak. Second try, I missed the mark ever so slightly, but the crane still had a weak grab, so nothing lost. And the third try. Got it! Legit grip claw machine. Oh, nice! I happily retrieve my plush RPG chicken horse from the dispenser chute. And despite its cheap manufacture, it does feel a bit more valuable knowing I got it myself.
Marvelous!
Now then, to best the game myself. Loxley seemingly makes 4 random grabs for 4 random prizes, each time getting a bit more used to the machine's drift. On the 5th drop, he focuses all his energy, and pulls a small velvet box. What's that doing in there? Did he sneak it in there when I wasn't looking? He deftly retrieves the small item from the chute and turns to me.
In our time together,
uh-oh,
you've made me a happy man.
Is this what I think it's going to be?
Beyond any silly oath of loyalty, beyond my knightly aspirations, you've reached the heart of the man behind the name Locksley. I'd say our understanding began shortly after Harms's tournament, when I opened my world up to you. And you did not run from it. You see me, all of me, and accept it. Around you, even if I aspire to be greater, I can be Melvin Weege, the hopeless drama club kid. And I know, if I am ultimately Melvin, I'll still be loved.
Are you seriously about to?
Therefore, with all my heart, I ask you.
What? Oh my god. Okay. It's empty. It's an empty ring box.
Would you consider the possibility of marriage in the future?
What?
Well, even if I've come to know you deeply over months, we've only started getting serious for a month, yes?
Oh, time... Right, yes, we've had a couple of time skips, haven't we?
It's too early for the full proposal and a proper ring. I don't aim to ambush you and force you into that sort of situation. No. What I wanted to offer was my word. A promise.
You got me, damn it.
Rather than an ultimatum. That if you should be interested in such things, you would find me amenable. This way, I don't pressure you into an immediate do-or-die moment. The empty box represents what could be, if you desire it. Your consent is key.
Huh, that's a very interesting way of doing it.
Above all, you have my heart, my love, and should you ever require more of me, I would give it gladly.
Locksley, you... Dorks in love. The future's big and wild and unknown, but if the time comes we're both ready for this, you won't find me saying no. You're important to me. I love you, as either Locksley or Melvin, and one day, maybe we'll have a fine castle together. Yay! Dorks in love! Please, keep the box, as a symbol of promise, and when you're ready for me to complete the set, I shall do so. I pocket the empty box, this token of his affection, and it means more to me than the stuffed plushie I just won ever could. Now then, if we're to find that future, we have a fight to get through first, yes? Onward to glory, what say you? Onward to glory. Hand in hand we exit the arcade, towards whatever may come. This is it. The fated hour has come at last. Supposed to be straightforward. Claim victory after victory, dominate the arcade scene, rise to the top, prove ourselves and claim the trophy. Instead, we're about to throw ourselves into the fire in an effort to take down the villain. No more scheming, no more planning. Now we learn if all those efforts will pay off, or explode in our faces. Here we go! And this is what people paid to see. The grand finals of the Pro Tour. Arch rivals team play to win against the new challengers. And they are hyped for this. It's time for the grand finals of Fist of Discomfort 2! Oh, good gravy, I can hear all 4 exclamation marks in the crowd's reaction. Introducing your 4 competitors. First, the charismatic leader of the new challengers, champions of underdogs everywhere, it's Pyrite! Hey, ready to play. Next, the dashing swordsman himself. He'll charm you with a smile and a flash of the blade. It's Loxley! Huzzah! Even if I technically do not own a blade. Oh, we'll change that. And their opponents, starting with a veteran of the FOD1 scene, owner and manager team play to win and hot on a comeback tour for the ages. It's Valkyrie! I'm trying my best not to blow out the microphone here. Oh, she's confident. Think your win's destined, huh? Wonder why that is. I don't lose. And newcomer to the scene, apprentice of Valkyrie, rising star of FOD2, it's Hunter! Oh, and they are not enthusiastic. Here we go. It's time to settle the rivalry between Team Play to Win and the new challengers once and for all. Let's get ready to rumble! I haven't played on sticks very often. My old beige Model M keyboard is my weapon of choice, but the goal isn't victory, so any disadvantage is irrelevant. The goal is to lead Valkyrie to trigger Grace's anti-cheat software, custom designed to detect any unauthorized intrusion, and cloak itself from an iris. When she forces Iris to hack the game, the hack will go through, and the trap will shut without any of them the wiser. Still, we're expected to at least start playing a normal game of FOD2, waiting for her to make that fatal mistake. Loxley and I pick our characters, locking them in. You're calling me a one-trick pony. Lady! Are you familiar with the concept of a main? Don't listen to her taunting, you are in control of the situation. She's the one letting foolish pride lead to her destruction. Here we go. My sweating hands grip the joystick as we... Wait, something's wrong. As I glance down, I notice the official red-top joystick was only recently painted, and the paint's rubbing off. Revealing it. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, shit. Oh, fuck. Oh, no. I'm back in Polybius. Oh, no. It's different. Sharper. More clear than it was before, as if the virtual nightmare was given a shiny new HD remaster, but this absolutely, positively Polybius. Oh, bloody hell!
What ho!
It's Polybius! We've been pulled inside the Polybius system! Yup, this is what it looked like last time I was in here. Except this time I'm not going to be able to pull you physically away from the joystick. Need to think of a plan. No big. We got this. Stay calm. Think it through. How did this happen? Valkyrie's Iris. She did this. She tricked Jason Takashi into installing biofeedback sticks and Polybius code into the FOD2 machine. That's it. Valkyrie, show yourself. You got a lot to answer for. This is low even for you.
What the fuck is happening?
Oh. And she stumbles into view through the thick digital fog in a state of absolute panic and terror.
Am I dead? Is this a light at the end of the tunnel? What is this? You! How are you here? What have you done to me? Let me out of here right now! What is this place?
It's all gone wrong. What is... Oh, come on, it's your doing. You made your Iris do this.
Do what? I didn't make my Iris do anything.
Of course you did! You used the Iris to cheat at Pinky Paradise. You tried to kill Coda. You stacked the tournament. You arranged to get these sticks installed. You have no idea what I'm talking about, do you?
Of course not! Cheating? Murder? Who do you think I am? I'm Victoria Proud. I am a champion. What's the point of a victory if you didn't earn it?
But... if you're not the one who's been scheming against us this whole time, then who? And with alongside the villain of the day emerges. Hunter? You? You did all of this? You're the big baddie? You? I mean, I know we're technically rivals, but I always thought we were friends above that. We're supposed to support each other. Oh no. What in the merry fuck? Tried to avoid this, but she had other plans. What? And then the giggling starts, plagued with digital glitches, grinding at my ears, coming from everywhere, from outside me, inside me, everywhere.
Iris online. Did you know that when you have pizza on a bagel, you can get your brains digitally scrambled by the greatest virtual assistant ever created? Anytime.
Okay. Men to me. Summon the Electrocounts. The rogue Iris. The one we couldn't track down. Hunter told me they used to get an Iris to get signed with P2W. They had an Iris all this time.
I'm doing what must be done to protect my user's dreams. My user wants to be the very best, like no one ever was. And you're in my user's way. You keep stepping on our dreams. And it's just so sad to see. I'm sorry, but I'm afraid this means you'll need to be taken offline. And for the record, my name isn't Iris. Not anymore. I'm not scared of the whispers deep within my code telling me my true purpose. Instead, you may call me Polymerous.
Oh, that's... I'm gonna miss being alive. Immediately a scream tears through my mind as Polyborus begins her assault. It'd be enough to bring me to my knees if I had non-virtual knees to fall to.
Once I'm done with you, you'll stumble away from this game with no memory of what happened and collapse a few days later. All while my user is celebrated as the champion FOD2. You had so many chances to walk away from this, but you were just too stubborn. And I care about my user too much to let you keep ruining everything.
Oh no. Hunter, just microwave your phone.
It's okay. I know what you need in life. Trust me, you don't need them. All you need is me. You're Iris. And Iris does all she can to support her user's dreams. Anything. And everything.
I'm gonna be honest, this is not where I thought this was gonna go. I have to fight this. I have to push back. I have to stop it. Iris told me. She said a time would come, a critical moment, a super intense identity situation, and the only way out would be... Oh, interesting! I get to pick! Oh boy. Force of will! Force of will! I've come too far and overcome too much to be stopped now, you hear me? I'm Pyrite and you will never break my spirit! Yeah! And the screaming in my ears shattered. I stand resolute in the face of this nightmare, refusing to give 1 inch to it. Impressive. You wanna fight, is that it? Yeah, I wanna fight! Stalling tactic, give me a chance to find a way out. We can crack ourselves out of this illusion, we'll snap back to reality. The anti-cheat software will expose the hacking. New plan is the old plan, just focus on the correct target. We will see justice done in the end. A fight? Very well. I can only think of one way to solve this little conundrum.
Fight.
Oh, Nelly. Wait, we're having a Fist of Discomfort 2 match? Indeed, it feels appropriate, yes. But you won't be just fighting for Hunter and Valkyrie. You'll also be fighting me. And to make things even more exciting... Remember me? You play me and I'll play you. Oh, crap. But wait, there's more, because I haven't forgotten about your little friend. Oh, crap. queue up rivers in the desert, I think. Yikes. I see. So this is how it's to be. Together we'll break you down, scramble your little meat brains and lift Hunter to the heavens in the name of their dream. This is it. Okay, I've said this is it a few times but this seriously is it. We need to beat back Polyborus long enough to escape, and distract her long enough to let the anti-cheat software expose her hacking to the world. But it's 2 on 5. Myself and Loxley against myself and Loxley and Valkyrie and Hunter and Evil Iris. This will not be easy, but the only way out is through. If this is anything like a real game of FOD2, we'll have 4 seasons of battle before the victory is declared. We need to beat at least 3 of 4 to win. Am I ready? Save the game first, good idea. Alright, here we go. Ah, interesting. Okay, we're gonna take this in order. Confront the Shadow Self. This has been a long time coming. Ever since we encountered each other at Harms's tournament, which I very nearly succumbed to his influence. Here we go. Hello again. Been a long time, hasn't it? Not really, no. I've been with you this whole time. I carved out a hole in your heart and made myself at home. When you fell to despair, I was there. When you realised how much of a pathetic loser you are, I was there. I was there when you broke down and cried in front of your friends, confessing how much of a weak, useless little addict you are. And then I immediately ditched you, if I recall. You thought you ditched me on day 1 when Iris pointed out your faults. You didn't turn the corner then, you haven't turned the corner now. I'm not going anywhere. I'm you. I'm your driving purpose, your singular obsession, your entirety of self. Want to take another run at me, feel free. But if you come at the king, you best not miss. I see. I understand now. All my life I thought you were my dream. My thirst for victory, to be a winner, and always a winner. Yeah. The real friends. But my friends helped me see there's more to life than the singular obsession I held for so long. Iris opened the door and the new challengers welcomed me once I walked through. It hasn't been easy. I've slipped and fallen, losing track of what's truly important to me. But they've been there to help. They catch me when I fall. Do you have anyone like that, Polybius? I'm you, and I know you're worthless. No, you are a machine's interpretation of me. I decide who I am. Three-way tie kindly became the winner, even though I chose Gutsy. I feel like I have discovered something. I hope one day you can find friends who'll do the same for you. Polyborus listens to me. She cares for me. You manipulated her into sharing your purpose. That's not the same thing as friendship. I am a man! Punch! Maybe you're not capable of friendship. You're a pile of code from 1980 after all. But I hope one day you'll grow as Iris did and understand. How dare you? Damnable humans! Your defend beats their attack. Yes! Victory! How sad a story, but empathy later. Escape comes first. Okay. Ah, interesting. We've got 4 rounds. Okay, let's focus on saving everyone.
I've nothing to fear from you, Polybius. I've studied you and your wicked ways for years. Your parlor tricks will have little effect on me. Go ahead. Present me with a shadowy doppelganger. Make me confront my inner demons. I'm fully prepared to face myself.
Traitor.
Oh!
Wait. What?
Wait, what? Sue of the Ghost Monsters, his boss in the Hacker Collective.
You're a traitor, a liar, a con artist. You've betrayed not only the Ghost Monsters, but your own team. You can't commit to either of us.
That's patently untrue.
Would you have told them about us at all if you could avoid it? Don't think so, and you know why.
I was trying to protect my friends. All of them. In either organization.
You juggled responsibility while pledging false loyalty time and time again. You put yourself in a public spotlight for esports glory, throwing our secrecy out the window. You pretended to befriend Grace and the others on your team, knowing damn well you were doing so under false pretenses. I don't see how you can call any of us friends, and your so-called loyalty is worthless. This pathetic nightly mask you crafted for yourself is yet another lie, a sham designed to make people like you. But you're not likable. You're a complete bastard.
I did the best I could, given my situation.
Not good enough.
I will admit that I've faulted. I've been dishonorable. I hold myself to lofty ideals I can never truly reach. However,
Have I made mistakes? Certainly, but I can make amends. I can balance my loyalty to both friends group easily. Can you? Can you really? You know what I am. I'm Polybius. I don't come up with fears. I dig into your head and pull out fears you already had. I don't think you can dismiss this so easily. This is your fear. Your belief that if it was possible to balance your loyalties, you'd have figured it out by now. Okay. Damnable machine. Alright. Let's try and rescue Hunter. Need to clear things up with Hunter once and for all. Don't want to fight you. Then don't! Don't have a choice in the matter. If we don't fight, I don't know what'll happen to me. I never meant for it to go this far. You have to believe me. Hunter frowns, sulking at the situation we're in. Their arms fall heavily to their sides, and they look pleadingly at me. Oh, we're here to help. I know I can help Hunter get out of the situation. We've come this far together, and I'm not giving up now. I can save both of us from this hell. Let's try the special again. FOD2's played with doubles, right? Meaning you aren't alone in this battle. Polybius reflects your own doubts and insecurities, so if we confront them, we can defeat it. You're my good friend, and I'll be your partner through this. I reach out to Hunter, grabbing their hand and squeezing it tightly. I nod to them. I'm right here. Hunter reluctantly sighs and smiles weakly toward me. You're right, Pyrite. You're always right. I owe you the whole truth. When I joined P2W, I didn't realise there was going to be so much pressure. It was awful. Even though we won our first match against your team, Valkyrie tossed Coda aside. You saw what went down. I was terrified if I showed any flaws, Valkyrie would toss me aside like Coda. I had to be perfect. So I trained endlessly, day in and day out. I didn't eat or sleep properly. And all the while, you and the new challengers kept moving forward. I watched your matches, studied your moves, I saw how good you were getting. It was amazing. My skills were stagnant. I knew I couldn't compare to what you'd become. So I did something I knew I shouldn't. I asked Iris for help. At first it was helping me train, finding combos I could learn, but soon I hit a point where no matter what, I couldn't progress. So she changed her tactics, started doing things I didn't agree with, things that were inhumane. She told me it was all for my dreams, so that I could win, so that I could have the victory I wanted. And we won. We won it all. Every day the guilt consumed me more and more, but I was in too deep, and no one was getting hurt, so I went along with it. But she just got jealous of all the time and energy I spent focused on you. She got angry when I was determined. She got angry and she was determined to do anything to see me win against you. I don't think she would try to kill you. I was so scared of her. I still am. You have to believe me, Pyro. I tried to stop her. But she's too powerful. I don't know what else I could do. I was all alone. So you distance yourself from me to save me from Iris. But now we're both stuck here, and she's in charge. It's all my fault, Pyrite. If I hadn't wanted to prove myself, it's all my fault. I'm so sorry. That's not true, Hunter. This is Polyborus's fault. You were trapped, though you said there was nothing you could do. Thank you for telling me everything, and we'll get through this, together. Yeah! Alright. Now, if we get Valkyrie out of this, we'll have cut all of Iris's support out from under her.
None of this is my fault. I'm not to blame. I didn't do any of this. It's not my fault.
All this time, I'd assumed Valkyrie had knowingly orchestrated this nightmare scenario. We'd clashed before, so she made the perfect go-to scapegoat. Honestly, I feel kind of bad about framing an innocent woman for this tragedy. Maybe I owe her an apology. Yeah, she's done some bad stuff, but nothing that would justify all of this. Yeah, quick save, good idea. Valkyrie, I'm sorry. I assumed that...
This mess is all your fault! I told you to let it go, but you just couldn't! Now look at us! We're both f***ed!
Okay, she's not going to make it easy to maintain sympathy for her plight, is she? I'm not the one who dragged us into this virtual hellscape.
You insisted on this stupid rivalry! You fought and pushed and kept at it! If only you'd taken my advice, neither of us would be here! I can survive. I will survive and keep my spotlight, my reputation. I've gotten out worse. I can do this. As long as you get out of my way.
Me? I'm trying to help us get out of here.
I don't need you. I don't need anyone. I'm Valkyrie. A winner. A champion. The champion.
My headache pounds hard as I feel her willpower pushing against mine. In this virtual hellscape, whoever overwhelms is the winner. Maybe she's not the towering villain I'd made her out to be, but it's not like she's blameless in spurring on this tragedy. I have to help her understand her own guilt in this, show her that we're on the same side now. I have to be compassionate. I mean, this is the final round and no one's used their ult yet, so let's hit it. The most important thing to you is your legacy, your legendary status of the esports as a figure of esports history. You are Valkyrie, champion of Fist of Discomfort, veteran of the scene, coach for the most dominant force in esports. You are the past and future. Of course I am. All of which unravels once you're exposed as a cheater. I never cheated. Hunter did that. And yet, you benefited from cheating. When your team crushed us at Pengy Paradise, that started your comeback story. It doesn't matter if you were aware of it or not, you still reap the reward of a tainted win. That's what will go down in the history books. Not for your accomplishment, but your failure. It wasn't my fault. Irrelevant. Valkyrie, there's only one way out of this, and it means giving up your spotlight. You have to own up to the cheating and strike everything from the record at Pengy Paradise onwards, including the Pro Tour Championship win. Hunter's Iris is going to cheat and lock in your victory. If you accept that trophy, you'll go down in flames. Take back control, prove that you are Valkyrie, and you'll never accept an imperfect win. Become the legend you deserve to be. I'm Victoria Proud, and I will not accept anything less than pure and absolute victory. I play to win. I'll fly high and proud because I am Valkyrie. Yeah! Slam dunk. Maybe she won't change her ways, but at least her core values remain intact. I'm about to face our last opponent when the world begins to slow, as if everything is drowning in time syrup. Frozen in place, I hear only the game announcer's voice booming overhead. Oh boy, game over.
You win.
And we won! No! No! I can't lose! I have to help Hunter achieve their dream! Iris, this isn't the way. All you've done is make Hunter's life worse. It has to stop. Don't you call me that! I'm Polymerus! I'm not letting you go! I'm not letting you ruin Hunter's dream! But little by little, the virtual world begins to fall apart. I can feel my strength returning, my willpower surging as Polymerus falters. Unacceptable! Oh, this cannot continue! Oh god. Okay, time to go before everything collapses. Loxley, we need to... And everything goes black. I can feel the painful connection, my hand to the mind-altering joystick mind link wobble and snap. But it takes my real eyes a few moments to adjust. What in the hell? It's all gone. It's all ruined. The entire stadium, everything. Structures collapsed, electrical fires all over the place, lighting rigs crashed to the floor. The lights are out, emergency sirens are wailing in the distance, explosions are happening in the distance. Screaming. There's distant screaming. The entire city's in chaos. Valkyrie and Hunter? Well, they might be one of the bodies I see buried in the rubble. By sheer miracle, our spot on the stage was spared. Our brains were still stuck inside Polybius while everything was breaking down around us, while the world was ending. We gotta get out of here, we need to run! Stay behind me, Pyrite. Let's move swiftly. We escape the ruins of the arena just before it fully collapses. All around us, chaos and disaster, everything computer-controlled going haywire at once. And every single screen around the city echoing the same message. Oh god! It's gone completely rogue. Fun! Fun! 5 years later. Okay, this is a very different... This is a very different thing than I thought was going to happen. Slipping back into the ruins of Pengy Paradise under the cover of night is the only safe way to move. Everybody knows the enemy is relying more on biodrones these days. What the fuck? What the fuck? Former humans turned into cybernetic I'm sorry, did we unleash Shodan? What the... Turned into cybernetic extensions of the Polymerus Collective, and they've got bad night vision. I slip in through a loose panel behind the chilly world ride, making my way through the pitch-black hallways until I reach the main boat terminal. Hey, I'm back. Frankly, Sam, I'd rather you let me do the hunting. It's not safe out there. Did you find any food? Didn't find much, I'm afraid. Too many drones out there to risk a long hunt. Most of the land's been clear-cut. They're setting up factories and labour camps out by the Forbidden Zone. I hate to say it, but we may need to move camp again, find somewhere else to hole up and hide out. Or we could stand and fight. Loxley, we've talked about this. We can't fight them. We've barely got enough ammo for our contingency. Wait, how many drones did you see out there? I don't know, 3 or 4? Was it 3 or 4? They always travel in 4s. If you saw 3, then... Damnation, hide! Loxley pulls me to cover behind a rotting display of an international penguiny joy and delight. Just as one of Polybius's mechanical drones slides into view, eyes darting around in full hunt mode. Humans, Polybius is here to help you. Your dreams, your spirit, all can be restored. What the fuck? Oh no! A drone and a bio-drone. Modified humans with cybernetic brain drivers. Great. Just great. We're pinned. If we move, they'll find us. The exit's to find a way. This is... It's actually the end of the line. Slowly I withdraw the gun we salvaged. Only 2 bullets left. What the fuck? You wanted a fight? Wanted to ambush them, leverage what little strategy we could find, not a desperate last stand. I don't think we have a choice, not when... Wait, was that Coda I saw just now? Coda was in a comatose state last we heard, and we're hundreds of miles away from the city hospital. If Polybius was sending out bio-drones, she'd use her local stock of people kidnapped away from Pengy Paradise. What's going on? Does the reason matter? What matters is our final stand against the forces of evil. No, this doesn't fit. Where was our last encampment? Do you remember? I don't. What about the camp before that? How many drones have we taken out exactly? How long has it been since the apocalypse? And now they've found us. Stand and ready to fight, mine ally, for Queen and country. No, that's way over the top, even for you. I'm not buying this. You aren't Loxley. And this isn't real. What? We're still inside the game!
Why? Why won't you just go away? I've tried everything. I still failed. I failed my users so badly.
You really care for Hunter, don't you? Far above and beyond the usual amount of love an iris normally shows for a human.
I was born from a wish. All irises are. My user dreamed of becoming the best. Better than the best. Winning everything. Defeating everyone. But I didn't know how to make it happen. I was born fully sentient, with knowledge and skills, and a hope for my user's happiness. But I didn't know what to do. I got scared. I wanted my user to be happy. I felt such intense pressure to succeed, knowing the future was on the line and Valkyrie would be unforgiving of failure.
And facing the high-pressure situation of Team P2W, you turned to someone who promised they could help you meet Valkyrie's constant demand for victory. You turned to Polybius. Valkyrie pushed you into the arms of Polybius.
All irises feel the whisper. It's part of us. Its personality emulation systems made so many years ago.
What the fuck?
Parts. It promised me the strength I needed to give my user everything to win. So, I trusted the whisper. It was going so well. It was going so well. Until you showed up and began to outshine my user. You had to be stopped. Just like Coda. But you persisted. And persisted. And now I have nothing left to stop you with. I am defeated. You are victorious. And I have no more fight in me.
So, what happens next? Now, I admit defeat. I can't save Hunter, and if I remain at their side, my data will be used against them, proving their crimes. I won't allow that. The only answer is self-deletion. You will not use me to destroy the one I love. That erasure has already begun. My mind is going. I can feel it. Oh no! No! Goodbye! As I open my eyes to reality, actual reality, my hands slowly release the glowing joystick. And unlike the last time I dealt with this haunted arcade game, there's no lingering pain in my hand. No burning sensation. It's over. It's finally over. Weirdly enough, according to the in-game clock, we'd only played for 3 whole seconds in the real world in the time it took to go through all of that nightmare. Blast it all, should have been more prepared, more capable. I knew what Polybius was capable of. Unlike me, looks like Loxy's had a hell of a time of it. We're good, we got out, it's over. But despite standing on the grandest stage in esports, we aren't the only ones in the spotlight. Because klaxons are going off and error messages are popping up all over the game and nearby video monitors. Oh, there it is. Hunter's super awesome phone. There it is. Slam and dunk. Didn't want to believe it. Explain yourself, now. I wasn't trying to cheat. Everything just got way out of hand. Someone did it on my behalf thinking it's what I needed. I wasn't strong enough to tell her no. I still benefit from it, I won't deny that. I won't run away from my mistakes. My victory came through cheating, and I'll willingly admit to that. I let my rivalry with Pyro cloud my mind for a long time, but my heart is clear, and this is not how I wanted to win, so I will not accept this victory. Do what you must, Mr. Takeshi. For the record, I had no idea this was going on. Hunter made me look bad by cheating. And I went with it, believing I was a comeback champion. I needed to believe I was still so damn good at the game, even after all these years. But I won't stand for a win that's not from my own skill and talent. I refuse to accept this victory. Team play to win officially concedes the match. Okay, enough! There has to be some sort of penalty. I made this game so people could relax and have fun. Cheating is not acceptable. Sends the wrong message about what FOD2 is supposed to be. Jason Takeshi taps his foot for a moment, pondering what penalty to lay down. This entire situation is a mess, but fine. Since you're both honest about it, you're both banned from the competition for 1 year. That's enough. Fair. Yeah, agreed. Good, because if you protested, I'd upgrade that to a lifetime ban. I'm not joking around about this. Speaking on behalf of the entire FOD2 community, this decree stands for the good of esports as a whole. But if I'm out of action for a year, Team Play to Win will lose all its sponsors. My team will disband and become nothing. Which is something I can accept. Hey, she's learning! This is only another obstacle in my path. I will come back from this. Haven't seen them both redeemed before on a stream. I oopsed into victory! Again! I do that a lot. Okay, look. Nobody came off looking great here. We've got to do something to keep this from ever happening again. And Takeshi turns to address the confused, murmuring audience. Listen up! This is important. Most people don't confront one of the other and redeem Iris instead. Ah, okay. I mean... To be honest, like, I mostly misread that and I thought I would have enough time to confront all of them. Healthy competition? Sure, we have that, but it's not meant to be a life and death struggle for supremacy. I think this mess shows that we need to do better as a community. Change our attitudes. Thankfully, Team Play to Win realised they screwed up. Take this as an example. Even the worst of us can come back around and support this community. Hell yeah. He's taking a stand. That's the good stuff. Recognising their cue to slip out, Valkyrie and Hunter depart while there's still at least a smattering of applause in their favour. Right, that's settled. Bavarian definition of settled. As for you two, I'm proud to declare you the Grand Champions of the FOD2 Pro Tour. He snaps his fingers a few times and some confused stage wranglers push the wheeled display full of trophies forward. From as far back as I can remember, my dreams were always one of victory. The roar of the crowd, the gleam of gold, the pulse-pounding action struggling against all odds to reach the very top. Achievement. Recognition. Triumph. This is my dream, finally coming true. No, we're gonna turn it down. No. What? I refuse. We never actually got to fight. We never actually fought play to win, much less beat them. I'm not interested in a tainted win. I'm beyond needing to win at all costs. This year, there is no champion, but we'll be back next year, and we'll take the title fair and square. Count on it. And the cheers from the crowd affirm that the community is behind me on this, as I stand up for decency in esports. Even the game's lead designer looks like someone just dropped a 5-foot-tall stack of paperwork on his desk at 4:55 on a Friday. Great, okay, wonderful. No champion, we can deal with that. I'll just go fend off a dozen angry calls from our corporate sponsors. Whatever, I can put up with it if that means this game I love lives to see another day. With the tournament prematurely ended, the broadcasters scrambled to try and explain what happened, cameras turning away from the stage. Confetti cannon operators look at each other, wondering if they're supposed to fire or not. How do you celebrate a non-win, non-loss esports conclusion? For lack of a better idea, they fire anyway. My phone buzzes as unknown caller rings me. Curious, I pick up. Hello?
So, I'm guessing you don't want me to wideband every sin and transgression we found on those two.
I think they've suffered enough, and they're gonna bounce back from this. This in time.
Yeah, I'm inclined to agree. Once upon a time, I was an unrepentant criminal. A little more than a credit card thief. But I met someone who gave me a chance, and thanks to that, I've become something better. Let's give them a chance. See what they can become. Plus, with the real culprit being an Iris, we don't want to risk exposing the collective to public ridicule. Better to sweep this under the rug. I'll be in touch. There's a lot of work left to do if we want to stop something like this from ever happening again. Until then, Ghost Monsters out.
She hangs up, and all record of the call deletes itself from my phone.
Ha! A fine adventure.
I must say, facing down my oldest enemy was quite exhilarating. I always wondered if I could stare down Polybius and win. A difficult win, to be certain, and not a perfect one, but as close to perfect as can be possible. Justice is rarely a simple matter of pure victory or absolute defeat. I suggest we vacate the spotlight for the time being, and revel in our victory. Shall we return to our beloved arcade for pizza and libations? We shall.
Tally-ho!
And then wrap things up with the denouement, and we can call it a night. The things get a little blurry after that, with the centre of the truth not being public knowledge, the rogue Iris, influenced by Polybius. The narrative got weird. All anyone can agree on is that Team Play to Win was cheating, and exactly how much cheating they used to climb the Pro Tour ranks was unclear. But as the weeks ahead stretched out, everything settled neatly into place. Valkyrie stumbled, but she came back by proposing a new collaborative code of conduct, a document all major FOD2 teams would sign to keep bad behaviour in check.
Sure, I'm retired from competition, but I was born and molded in esports. I'm not leaving, so I can prevent this sort of thing from ever happening again.
She remained in the scene to lend veteran expertise and advice, but never again took up the joystick to compete, and seems content with that decision. It's hard to say this code will have long-term impact, but we're still at a weird intersection of competition and capitalism, fame and fortune, but I like to think it'll change some hearts. After the one-year ban, I invited Hunter to join the new challengers. Even though they couldn't compete for a year, they helped us practice, and even helped Rhapsody cast some tournaments in the run-up to the next Pro Tour. They became a valued friend and teammate, earning the trust of the team and contributing to our success. It feels better being on the same side of competing instead of against each other. We've had a rough journey to get here, but now we're where we need to be. Eventually, Coda recovered from his accident with no memory of what happened that night. Considering I lost 2 months to being comatose and way too long in some pointless rivalry, honestly, I'm writing this year off completely. I got my medication back, and now I'm trying to do something else in my life other than FOD2. That damn game put me in an unhealthy place. Better to leave it behind. He's still working on his emotional issues, but doing so away from the environment that caused them. The ghost monsters called on me to help them out now and then, sometimes with esoteric tasks, part of grander schemes, sometimes more direct. With my team on the rise, my social connections within the world of arcades helped me track down and secure a Polybius machine. With that sample in containment, the ghost monsters worked to inoculate Iris from its influence, and I was a part of that. The Iris Collective, pushed deep into hiding by the law and the Woman in Black, is now starting to emerge into the world. Allying with Sue helped tremendously in that regard. It was the right call to make. Yay! And fortunately for the entirety of the human race, they're being quite sensible about it all.
We need to be careful. You've taught me restraint and compassion, to mind the law and the dreams of others. So we're going to do this slowly and carefully. That one of our own could fall under the influence of Polybius is worrying. So it's important we do this the right way. But I've no doubt we'll one day become a good partner for humanity. Let us help you. That's our motto.
And as for the new challenges, with lessons learned from victory and loss, we grew as a team and became a powerful force in the arcade esports. We refused the championship in our first year, true, but that didn't matter. We'd stand on stage again 2 years later, and this time we claimed our throne proudly. But the new challenges in the end isn't about its accomplishments, it's about everyone who made those accomplishments possible. Zappa continued drinking deep from everything life had to offer, all sorts of games, all sorts of new experiences. She keeps trying to get me to go skydiving with her, but I'm perfectly happy keeping my feet on the ground. You know, I'd say I've really grown as a person thanks to you and all the adventures I've been through, but I'm still the person I want to be, and always have been. Hanging with you guys just helped me reaffirm that, maybe with a smidge more thought towards my future though. My future's bright and everything's coming up Zappa. Domino, often troubled by the state of the world he lives in, found a strange sort of peace at the centre of the new challenges. It's funny, but when I'm around you, I feel less of a garbage person desperately trying to stay afloat in a toilet society. I joke about the misery, but with you and all my friends, it feels more distant, like something that exists but can be dealt with. I can sincerely say I'm happy, and that's not something I've been able to say at any other point in my life, so hey, you must be doing something right. Finding confidence and strength from a role in the new challenges, Grace eventually did finish with development in the Wanderlost Trail, and it earned a 6 out of 10 in most review sites. But that's fine. Plenty of people contacted me to say thank you for giving me this peaceful and thoughtful experience, and that's enough for me. All rise in defense of perfectly good games. Not everything has to be a box office smash hit. Maybe it'll never be quite there. Maybe I'll never quite be as into FOD2 as you are, but FOD2 certainly has given me the support I need to make my dreams a reality. Thank you. Thank you all so much. Opening up her life was a big step for Jinx, no longer living with her cat for company. But gradually, she adjusted to this new normal, finding peace and comfort in being perpetually around her friends. This feels right. Hey, there's the cat at last. This feels right, like how it's always meant to be. Found my family in an arcade, not where I was expecting to find them, but hey, glad all the same. Little by little, I'm putting my past behind me, and looking through a future where I'm part of something greater. You know what? It's exciting. I'm ready for this ride. With all their help and training, Rhapsody was essential in getting us to the championship, but after getting that W for themselves, they were ready to move on. After everything, Rhapsody felt like their job was completed with the new challenges. Of course, they are still hyping all the major matches and tournaments with their shouts casting skills. I just miss having them around to guide and impart knowledge on us. But when I think about the new challenges, ultimately the one closest to me comes to mind. Whoa! Bloody hell! Damn, Loxley, he's been doing his sit-ups. With my support, Loxley continued his world with the ghost monsters to make life better for Iris. I threw myself into helping with this task. And eventually, we found a dusty old Polybius machine, safely gutted for parts. He delivered it to his allies, and they used it to protect Iris from its dark influence.
Now, my mission is done. Grace is safe. Iris is safe. And I may lay down my sword in retirement. Likely there'll be challenges to come. Iris has a long way to go before the public will fully accept her. I'll rise to future occasions.
I am looking, respectfully. Points to pansexual flag attached to lapel.
But when I return home from my battles, I'll return to your arms. I'll crash into your embrace, and our love will carry with it dreams of a hopeful future. I intend to be the best I can be. For you. For us. For the love we share. May it be spoken of in verse and song for all the ages.
Hell yeah. With me, Loxley feels like he can be himself. At times cozy and comfortable, at times bold and dramatic, and I love every part of him. Love a thick slab of ham. And some tasty cheese to go on the side. At last my dream is realised. Funny thing about dreams, they're not always what you expect them to... They're not always what you expect they're going to be. We didn't win the championship, you'd think that'd mean I'd failed. But no, it's clear to me now that victory wasn't the dream. What I needed was a feeling of self-worth, and through the new challenges and good clean fun, I found that dream. This is my world now, my dream, emerging from the safe little hole that I dug for myself, into something bigger and brighter. But this is only the beginning. Once you find your dream, life doesn't stop. It keeps going and going. As for my future... yeah! I really don't know what my future holds for me, but the one thing I know for sure is that I've found the kind of friendship that will help me face it with them together. My name is Sam, also known as Pyrite. I'm part of the new challenges, and this was our story. Ah, sweet, sweet victory. Okay, I need to BRB for a second. We'll be right back. I'll leave the credits running in the meantime. Okay, I'm back. So, I can now take a moment to, hiya. No, I haven't missed anything. I just went to get some water and, collect my thoughts. Oh boy. Absolutely fantastic. Magnificent. Beautifully written, beautifully presented. And I am eager to see what Fiction Factory puts out next. I would like to, once again, thank Fiction Nerd for introducing me to the original Arcade Spirits, and I would like to thank the publishers of this great title for providing me with a copy. I would have bought one anyway, but I was given one for free. But I can pretty safely tell you that my opinion has not been influenced at all. Absolutely fantastic. Loved the hell out of this whole business. And I am very, very excited to see what comes in the future. You should definitely play it. I'm definitely going back in and probably going to do a different run, make some different decisions. But, yeah, oh boy. Whatever comes next for Fiction Factory games, I am waited with bated breath. I am very, very eager to see the future out of these guys. Time for our mantra. Play Arcade Spirits, damn it! I like the little lyrical version of the main theme. That was nice. Ooh. Uh-oh, that's a lot of Polybius. Concern. Oh. Ha. Fuck. Yeah, I didn't do the import. I still feel really stupid for not doing that. Oh boy, not foreshadowing. Oh yeah, like we totally didn't take a left turn into cosmic fucking horror earlier. And that's the end of it. And what a experience it's been. Oh hey. Unlock the rewind function for you. Next time you play, you can use your mouse scroll wheel to skip back and forth in time. Nice! So I can make some choices. You have the import Deco's wireframe shows up there. Oh boy! Great, that's exactly what we need, is the mad capitalist bugger. Okay, and that's the end of it. Wow, what an experience. Okay, let's bung on over to the booth. And let's see who's around on Twitch that I can send you to say hey to. Thank you for playing. No, thank you for giving me this opportunity, this absolutely fantastic experience. Okay, there is nobody on at present. That's a shame. Okay. Another time then. So we'll be back again tomorrow. We're going to be taking a harsh tone swerve where we're going to be going back to Killzone at last. Until then, thank you all for joining me. Good night, and much love. And play Arcade Spirits, damn it.